African Americans in this country are the only groups, they have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them. 2 value systems in the African American culture. Name 2 taboos in the African American cultural system. Name 2 traditions, by the way, in the African American cultural system. You have no culture. Nancy, you've been here, born here. Why would you be surprised if I say African Americans don't have a culture? What, twerking?
I've seen several videos from this interview this morning with Frank Zanu, and while seemingly educated and has some interesting points of view, it's spewing lots of white supremacist ideas of blackness and colonialism. He particularly hones in on Black Americans and Haitians, and as you can imagine, I was all ears on both sides of this combo. What's worse is the woman having the conversation with him didn't have the bandwidth or capacity to speak on these topics. And if there's one thing that really grinds my gears, is people who paint broad strokes and completely leave out the historical nuance and geopolitics that are crucial, especially when discussing anyone in the diaspora's history, culture, language, and current socioeconomic positioning in the modern world post-colonialism. To say that Black Americans have no culture boldly is to admit publicly that you're unqualified to continue your conversation. He is correct that there is no one singular unified Black American culture. That would be similar to you saying all of West Africa has a singular culture, because America is comparable to a continent size-wise. Black American culture is American culture, which is consumed globally and emulated globally, but it's become the dominant standardized culture for so long, you're not able to ascertain which aspects of that culture are Black. Furthermore, the bastardization of that culture that America exports. Prime example. We have to discuss the socialization of anti-Black sentiment throughout the diaspora when it comes to America, and that's seen from educators down to laymen, and this man appears to be no different. Because according to you, twerking is not a valid part of African American culture, even though it comes from your culture and our ancestors. So why is this dance considered traditional and cultural for you, but twerking for us couldn't be a part of African American culture? Black American culture is unique and has developed in America over the last 400 years. Black spirituality and worship in the Black church has been a central and vital institution in Black American life, acting as a hub for community, social justice, and spiritual support. Religion has provided a source of strength and hope in face of a systemic oppression, which is where a lot of our traditions stem from. Black American spirituality, Louisiana voodoo, and hoodoo, which developed from the Middle Passage and thrived during our time here on the plantation, is a direct result of our African origins coupled with our new existence here in America, which is no different than Santeria in Cuba, DR, voodoo in Haiti, Obia in Jamaica, or Candomblé in Brazil. If you're in America, there's a difference between a Black funeral, Black wedding, Black church, Black christening, Black prom, versus white versions of these. These are our tradition, and this is what we've developed here. Same things that you attribute to any other African or Latin American culture, these parts of our culture are just not exported to the world, so you don't think they exist. Soul food, which can be traced back to the culinary practices of enslaved Africans in the American South, blending African traditions with European techniques, inspiration from the natives, and ingredients and cooking methods available during slavery. It's unique to Black Americans, and it varies by region, same as food varies by any region anywhere in the world. Our value systems are family and community. We have collectivistic values placing a strong emphasis on family closeness, community bonding, and solidarity is a core value in most, if not all, Black American communities. Children are often raised to show great respect for their elders, seeking guidance and reverence as they age and as we mature. Art, which is the most exported and consumed and marketed part of our culture. From the Harlem Renaissance to today, Black Americans have made immense contributions to the arts. For example, literature, writers like Langston Hughes define the Harlem Renaissance. Visual art, our dances, our music, which have been consumed globally for the last century. Every popular genre of music we've created, blues, jazz, hip hop, praise and worship, gospel, rock and roll, and country are all Black American culture. Clothing and style are Black American culture, street style, hip hop style. And you say about our language, we have AAVE, we have Gullah Geechee, we have Creole. People speak differently in Texarkana, people speak differently in South Carolina versus the North versus the Midwest. America is this roughly the size of Europe. But to say America and Black Americans have no culture is not only lazy, it's playing into the trope that we are the lost Africans, and also lends itself to they don't know where they come from. So many dangerous and misinformed tropes this man puts forward about both groups. And if there's one thing I hate, like I said, is people who make claims and leave out the history and geopolitics that are required to understand the talking points that we are currently discussing. Some aspects of Black Americans feeling like they're oppressed, so they stay oppressed. Maybe we can dive into those concepts and you can provide a well thought out thesis or provide to me your point of view. But if you're doing so from a flawed place to begin with, I can't respect anything you say. Black Americans have no culture, Haitians don't speak a language, and Haitians are failing because Africans never knew or saw governance. Those 3 points are completely wrong.
Fam, let's talk about something powerful today. There is a common stereotype that Black Americans don't have culture. You've probably heard it before, maybe even seen it online. But is that really true? Or is it one of the biggest lies told about us? Stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm breaking this down. And trust me, you're gonna walk away with a whole new level of pride in who we are.
If you've ever heard the phrase that Black Americans do not have culture, or you've ever said that Black Americans do not have culture, you are misinformed. 1, 2, you're a liar. 3, your perception of things is probably off. Because every time I see people say this, it's usually in juxtaposition to other places like that are not America. And I'll be the first to tell you that, yeah, in juxtaposition to these other places that culture has existed in for several hundred, if not thousands of years, yeah, I would imagine that other places exude a particular culture. But you have to also understand that that is wherever it is, whether it's Europe, the Middle East, Africa, even the Caribbean, down here in the Americas. These are old world cultures or old world based cultures with old world beliefs and value systems. You cannot compare America, that is a newer country, to these old world countries with their old world cultures and value systems. We have an entirely different thing here. The United States as a whole is a country, is a big landmass, first off. So Black culture looks different by region of the country. And I think that's the dissonance that people have with it. It's not centralized. I'm from New Orleans. Black culture in New Orleans looks different than Black culture in Mississippi. And that looks way different than culture in Atlanta or in Texas or in LA or California rather. And that looks a world away different than Black culture in New York. Are there things that connect us regardless of what region we're from? Yes, of course. But to say that Black culture does not exist in this country, that's just you don't know enough, or you don't care, or you are participating in white supremacy. I mean, it's using one of those 3. Because Black culture is such a wide and colorful array of things that people try to minimize it to just like, oh, this rap and hip hop thing. And it's not it.
Every time I hear somebody say that Black Americans have no culture, I think
you're the reason why people keep on asking this question, because you don't even know how to answer this question. When asked, what is Black American culture? You need to actually show Black American culture, like they do in Louisiana, for example. They have actual Black American culture. But you coming out here showing a plate of food and some dude with a radio. What does that have to do with anything? Let's go with the plate. On your plate, you have collard greens. Africans also have collard greens. It is cooked the exact same way. In Congo, for example, we call it ndunda. Same thing. And on top of that, you have the audacity to show mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. two of the most European creations ever. I remember one time I saw a guy who said, oh, mac and cheese is in Black American creation. Listen. Y'all need to be serious. Okay, when you start talking about things like this, you need to be serious. This is why people look at you funny, because you're saying things that don't make sense. A guy said mac and cheese is a Black American creation. He said some dude named Heming, I think Heming, created it. No, he did not create it. Maybe he helped popularize it. I don't know, but he did not create it. Mac and cheese. Listen, cheese is probably one of the most French thing that you will find out here. Cheese. And don't even get me started on mac. That's literally short for macaroni. That's an Italian word, okay? So how come a French thing and an Italian thing is part of your culture? This is the reason why people keep on asking y'all these stupid questions, because you don't even know how to answer it. Answer the question properly and people will leave it alone. I don't even see the reason to talk about the other thing, because that's just a black man with a radio. I understand what it symbolizes is hip-hop, I get it, but that man is wearing a Kango. Okay, that's literally a company owned by a white man.
So funny how people will be so quick to be like, Black Americans, y'all don't have no type of culture. Like, y'all don't have no kind of culture. But yet, I cannot scroll through this app without seeing somebody who's not Black American using AAVE or playing a Black American artist in their background or doing one of our dances. Like, talking about Clock That T. Bitch, you from Tajikistan. Like, Clock That T is not your shit. That's not your shit. Like, a lot of these people cannot even make a dog this video about Black Americans without playing one of our artists in their background. That shit really be killing me. But you know what? I kind of get why they say that, though, because our culture is literally exported all around the world. So it's like our culture is literally seen as trendy. So it's like they'll take a part of our culture or our lingo or our music, and then they'll turn it into a trend, and then they'll throw it away when they get tired of it. So it makes it seem like we don't have no culture because nothing actually sticks. You see what I'm saying? It's always taken out and exported as like a trend, or it's like something that's just cool. So it's like, so I kind of get that, but still it's like, dang, you just gonna copy our shit, copy our style, copy our lingo, use our music in your background, and still sit up here and claim that we don't have no type of culture. Y'all, the truth be told is, you niggas, y'all know we cool as fuck. We are the cool kids on the fucking block, okay? We're the fucking cool kids. We're the popular kids in the school, okay?
I know this is gonna ruffle some feathers, but there's no black culture in America. I'll be on the internet talking about some black culture this and black culture that, and we don't have one. What we do have in the black community is trends. That's what we do have. Because what you guys refer to and call black culture in America is only what's popular at that moment. We went from hip-hop to streetwear to designer to anime. Now it's country boots and cowboy hats. We're calling that a culture shift? Like, just be real. You guys are copying popular trends and then slapping the label of a culture on it and thinking it's okay. Beyonce dropped Cowboy Carter. Now everybody want to square dance now, right? It's not about boots. It's about relevance when it comes to y'all. Y'all not country or performative. I don't care about rodeos, tractors, land, southern values. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I care about aesthetics, IG reels, what can get you a bunch of views, likes, comments, and reposts on TikTok. Skinny jeans and Vans were still popular. I'd be in the club still pin dropping and jerking. But because wearing cowboy boots has hit the algorithm, now suddenly you're a ranch hand. It's not culture, bro. Y'all just be clout chasing with a costume on. Culture is built on tradition, values, and rituals, not popular music and social media trends. Can we stop dressing like hashtags, actually stand for something? We will never have culture. We got whatever is currently hot in the moment. If you're bothered by me saying this, have you thought about the possibility that the shoe may fit?
I did not know that Kai said that Black Americans do not have culture. Every time I like somebody, I hear something about them that be like, okay, now, like we really just watch Sinners. We really see in real time today how everybody seems to assimilate with Black culture, Black music, Black slang, Black hairstyles, Black style, Black dances. I mean, I can keep on going on. But it's like it's become so normal for everybody else to just act like Black people in America and not give credit. I mean, this man built his entire career on looking like a black American, because I don't know about y'all, but until he said it, I did not know he was part Haitian. His entire image is built on black American, this black American culture that he says does not exist. This is the thing about streaming and going live, because this don't be rehearsed. This is what they truly think. And I like Kai, so I really hope that the people around him, whoever he's cool with, educate him, because that was very stupid to say.
Let me say this real quick. When you come on my account and you try to disrespect African Americans, you have to come correct. Y'all love saying that we have no culture and we don't know anything. To say that African Americans have no culture shows how little you have, and it shows how poorly you've been educated on African American culture. Because it is literally our culture that is responsible for the fact that people from other places around the world can migrate to this country. It was our culture that was on display this year at the Met Gala. Where do you think black dandyism comes from? Not your culture. And you know what's funny? Do you think that anyone who doesn't like black people cares that you're not African American? Baby, you could be one of my cousins. It don't matter, girl. Y'all have all this smoke and animosity. How about this? How about you don't interact with African Americans? Y'all can just leave us alone. Like, for instance, you didn't have to interact with my video. Why do you need me to know that you don't like African Americans? Okay. What are you supposed to do with that information? And then it's a whole thing of, oh, well, this is a reason why people hate you. Y'all need to do this. How about this? How about y'all work on your own internalized hatred? What's funny is that African Americans don't think about other cultures and ponder about how much we hate y'all. We literally don't do that. But y'all run any chance you get to go and try to hate on us. And the only thing y'all can say is, y'all don't even have culture. No, you don't have a proper education. Because anyone who has a proper education on African Americans would never say that. And here's the thing. If you have culture, is this what you're displaying right now? Your people's culture? Hate? Damn. No music, no food? Anyway.
Let's be real. For years, there has been this false narrative that because of slavery, black Americans lost everything, our culture, our traditions, our identity. And sadly, some people even in the African diaspora repeat this. But the truth is this: we didn't lose, we transformed. Our ancestors carried pieces of Africa with them, even under the worst conditions. And those seeds grew into something uniquely powerful here in America. Yeah, farm culture is everywhere. Think about it. From the way we cook, the way we speak, the way we worship, the way we move on the dance floor, culture is alive and breathing in Black America. Soul food, that's culture. Gospel and hip hop, that's culture. Even the way we celebrate life through fashion, hairstyles, and language, these are these are all echoes of Africa mixed with the resilience of surviving in America. Yeah, and today, those cultural gifts are celebrated all over the world. We all know this. Our ancestors faced the unthinkable. Yet instead of vanishing, they created. Spirituals turned into gospel. Drum patterns turned into blues, then jazz, then rock, then hip hop. African rhythms never died, they evolved. That's resilience, that's survival. That's proof that no matter what chains we were put on us, then the spirit of our people could not be erased. So why does this matter? Because when people say Black Americans have no culture, what they are really trying to do is erase us. They want us to believe we are disconnected, rootless, and lost. But history shows the opposite. We are connected, we are rooted, and we are innovators. Yeah. Every major cultural wave in America has Black fingerprints all over it. From food to fashion, music to movement, our stamp is everywhere. For me, this is not just history, it's personal. Every time I hear a gospel choir, every time I taste my grandmother's recipes, every time I see our people shine in creativity, I know I'm looking at survival, at victory, at proof that our ancestors are still with us. And here is the call to action. Let's stop repeating lies about who we are. Please, let's stop this. Instead, let's celebrate it, teach it, and spread it. Because our culture is not just alive, it's unstoppable. Let me repeat this. Our culture is unstoppable. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.